Right now, someone on your payroll is costing you more than you pay them by tearing at the fabric of your company's culture. Not because they're stealing, not because they aren't skilled or can't do the job, but because you've been too nice to do anything about it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the one question that reveals which of your guys is actually costing you money. I'm Brian Buresh. I've been in the home improvement business for 23 years. My company, Buresh Home Solutions, is a 4-time National Pella Windows and Door Award winner. And I'm the author of Differentiate and Dominate, a contractor's guide to winning in a crowded market. So what's the real reason you're stuck? I had a lead installer we'll call Dave. Been with me for years at that point. Good with customers, showed up on time, knew his stuff. But here's what I didn't want to admit. His attitude had changed. He was affecting my company's overall morale. I would constantly tell myself, he's one of our best craftsmen. I can't throw him out during the busy season. It will get better. So you probably know what I did. Yes, I kept him for another year. So you want to know what that cost me? Thousands of dollars in lost productivity, hours upon hours of time trying to figure out who we could put with him, not to mention the time I spent coaching him. And after the coaching, I would get a week of better results, and then we'd just go right back to being a problem. So how do you know who's the actual keeper and who's quietly destroying your business? That's where this test comes in. And it starts with one uncomfortable question. It's the keeper test, and here's the question that changed everything for me in my business. If this person quit tomorrow, would I fight to get them back? Not would I need to replace them, not would it be inconvenient, would I actively fight to keep them on staff? Most contractors have never asked themselves this question, and that's exactly why they're stuck where they are. So let me walk you through how this works. Grab a piece of paper right now. Write down every one of your employees' names. Now go through that list one at a time, and for each person, ask yourself, if they called me tonight and said they got another offer, would I fight to keep them? At this point, be super honest. Not what you think you should feel, what you actually feel. And in your mind, there should be only 3 possible answers. Number 1, yes, I'd like to keep them. That's a keeper. These are your A players, the ones who make your life easier, not harder. This one's simple. If you felt relieved that they gave their notice, that's a move out. You already know they need to go. You've just been avoiding it. It's the same fear we spoke of earlier. If you had a neutral sensation about an employee, that's either the wrong seat or the wrong bus. They might be a good person in the wrong role, or they might just not be a fit for your company. By using this question, it will cut through all the fear and gets to the truth. You no longer rely on emotions. With this system now in place and the fear is gone, I can make quick decisions that will benefit my team. So now let's look at the performance and how we rate that for each employee. So for everyone on your list, you need to evaluate 2 things, their skills and attitude. Can they do the job? That's skills. Do they want to do the job? That's attitude. This in the end will give you 4 categories, and one of them is a cancer that's probably in your company right now. The first category, high skill, high attitude. This is another keeper. Invest in them, pay them well, give them growth opportunities. These are the people who will make your life easier. The keepers will also help you build something real. Next, the low skill, high attitude people. These people are trainable. These are the diamonds in the rough. They want to be great. They just need coaching. Invest in these people as well. Train them up or move them to a role that fits their current skill level. Now the cancer. Low skill, low attitude. Move them out immediately. This is the fear we were talking about. No 90-day plan, no second chances. They don't want to be there and you don't want them there, so it's time for them to go. But do help them exit with dignity. But get them out now. You might have thought the last one we just talked about would be the worst, but the one we're about to discuss is the real dangerous one. Here's another toxic one, and this is one that feels impossible to deal with because these guys feel irreplaceable. These individuals are high in skills, but very low in attitude. They're good at what they do, but they're poisoning your culture. They complain, they undermine you, they make everybody else miserable. They take no accountability for anything. I've had more than one, but I had one in particular. Mad building skills and my highest paid employee. Could install anything, but he spent half his day complaining and the other half telling other team members that I didn't know what I was doing. I kept him out of fear because I thought I couldn't afford to lose his skills. Letting him go was the best decision I made that year. I remember the day after walking into the gym and feeling like I had 150 pounds taken off my shoulders. And I'll tell you exactly what happened when I did it in a few minutes. But first, you need to know what to do with this information. For anyone who's not a clear keeper, you have 90 days to make a decision. If they're in the wrong seat, maybe they're a mediocre installer, but they could be great at sales. or they're struggling in their current role but could be very successful in the office. So when this is the case, try a different role first. Give them 90 days in the new seat. Give them clear expectations. Check in regularly. If they thrive, great. If they don't, you have your answer. If you find out they're on the wrong bus, they're just not a fit for your company, help them transition out with dignity. Give them notice, but start the process. Here's a very simple rule I now live by. If you wouldn't enthusiastically rehire them today, knowing what you know now, start the transition. Now, I'm pretty confident I know exactly what you're thinking right now. Brian, I can't afford to lose bodies right now. It's busy season. I've got jobs scheduled. I can't just fire people right now. I thought the same thing, but the fact is it almost ruined my company culture. So now let me show you why that thinking is backwards. Because here's what actually happens when you run the test. The first time you actually run it can be a little scary. The second time, you'll wonder why you waited so long. After you do this test, you'll start seeing immediate results. So let's talk about what happens in the first 30 days after you start making these moves. Most importantly, your A players, your keepers, notice right away. They notice that you're finally addressing the dead weight. They notice that you're holding people accountable. They notice that causing drama will not be tolerated. And guess what? Their performance goes through the roof and your company culture is revived. So why does this happen? It's easy, because high performers hate carrying low performers. They've been waiting for you to do something about it for a long time. 6 months after I let Dave go, who we talked about earlier, one of my crew leaders, one of my definite keepers, came up to me and told me he was about to quit. He couldn't take it anymore. But he also knew when I finally dealt with the situation that I was here to build something real. That's what happens when you stop making excuses for mediocrity. Your customers will feel it too. Quality goes up, callbacks go down, and referrals increase. And another shocking thing was how much more money I made with less keepers than I did with more of mixed performers. It's pretty simple. People who care outperform those who half-ass it. The bottom line is our gross margin went up and our culture did a 180. Let's talk about a case study. I have a roofing contractor I work with. They're doing about 1.2 million in revenue. They have 9 employees. He did the keeper test and he realized his best foreman, the guy who'd been with him for 10 years, was a high-skill, low-attitude cancer. This guy technically was excellent, could roof anything, but he was toxic, complained constantly, undermined every new system, and in particular, he made the younger guys miserable. This client had the exact same fear I had when I was in the same situation. He said, he's my best roofer. I'm going to lose jobs without him. But he did it anyway, and then promoted a younger guy who had high skill and high attitude. Gave him the lead role. You want to know what happened? He now sleeps better, has a great team, has less fear, and is planning on tremendous growth in his business over the next few years. You know why? The other crews started performing better because the toxic culture was gone. The younger foreman implemented systems that the old guy had been blocking for years. And they started attracting better talent because word got out that it was a good place to work. One decision, one person, and a company fixed. That's the power of removing a cancer even when they seem irreplaceable. So by using this system and the tactics we've talked about, you build a business that can run without you. I'm not talking about someday, I'm talking about next month. When you have a team of people who are high skill and high attitude, you don't have to be there for every decision. You don't have to fix every problem. You don't have to be the one safety net for everyone's mistakes. Hiring gets much easier because keepers attract keepers. When your best guys are recruiting their friends, you get better candidates that any job posting will never bring you. You'll now stop settling for warm bodies in the busy season. You'll stop hiring out of desperation and you'll start hiring for fit. And guess what? Your business becomes valuable, not just a job you own, an actual asset that could run without you. Remember that toxic foreman I mentioned earlier, the one I kept for a year too long? When I finally let him go, 3 things happened within the first 60 days. My other installers started smiling again. The energy on job sites completely changed. We had fewer callbacks that quarter because everyone was performing to their capability and not struggling through a toxic culture. And I hired 2 new guys who were better than anyone I interviewed in the last 5 years. You know why? Because my keepers were telling their friends, you should work here. It's different now. Last winter, I took 30 days off. My team ran my company, no emergency calls, no fires to put out. They just handled it. That doesn't happen with mediocre employees. That only happens when you have keepers. One of my favorite authors, Seth Godin, who's a marketing genius, had a quote that really summed up this whole situation. When you skip the difficult conversation to avoid conflict, you're not keeping the peace. You're training people that difficult conversations don't happen here. So remember when I said one of your guys is probably costing you money, time, and self-confidence? Well, a lot of the time you know exactly who and what needs to be done. Because you've been making excuses for them for so long, you've been letting fear override good business decisions. You've been hesitating, and in doing so, hurting your business. But let's be honest, keeping the wrong people is disloyalty to your family, to your team who are carrying the load, and it's disloyalty to the future of your business. So here's what I want you to do this week. Download the Keeper worksheet below. It's free. It'll take you about 20 minutes depending on how large your company is. Do it this week. Be honest. Write down the names. Answer the fight back question. Fill out the performance matrix. And then make the hard decisions that need to be made. Because here's what I've learned after 23 years. The decisions you're avoiding are the exact decisions that will set you free. So get out there and build a team of keepers.